All right, we've finished our full-size drawings and we are ready to start building. So the first thing I would like to do with this is I like to tape this down to a flat surface. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a piece of tape in each corner. And the reason we're going to do this is just to stop it from moving around while you're gluing things onto your wax paper. So we take the wax paper. Now, the wax paper has a couple of little wrinkles in it. That's no big deal. We're going to tape this down and you'll be able to see through it just fine. Now, the tape does not stick to the tape very well. So when you put this down, you want to put your tape in a corner, but beyond the old tape. And you're going to want to flatten this out as you do this. Get it as smooth as possible. And we're going to put one in each corner, just like before. And now we're ready to start gluing our toothpicks to our design. It's really important that you're very safe when you're making this structure. At times, you're going to find that you're going to need to make cuts on your toothpick. For example, this distance right here, this distance is much shorter than a full toothpick. So what I would do is I would lay the toothpick, make the mark, and then what I like to use is a pair of scissors to cut this. Now, you're going to line it up, and then what I want you to do is turn it, hold this end, and the other end you want to pop towards the table. If you hold it up, it could pop at you. There's a good chance that these toothpicks could come and pop you in the eye. So you will definitely want to wear safety glasses. So it's very important that when you're cutting, you cut away from you. Some of you might use an X-Acto knife to make small cuts on your design. And if you're going to use something sharp like this, you're going to want to consider that you have a surface underneath that you could cut through. So we don't want you cutting into your mom's nice kitchen table or kitchen counter. So what we would like you to do is use something like a cutting board if you're going to use something like an X-Acto knife. So I'm going to work on this front view, and I have a box around the edge. That's what I want to start out with. Now, we have smaller pieces of the wax paper, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to make just about a dime-sized bubble on there. This bubble is what I'm going to use to add glue to my toothpicks. So what I want to do is I want to sort of lay out how I want this to look first before I add any glue. If the toothpicks have any bends in them, you can just gently adjust it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to put that in that corner and this in that corner, and you can see that there's some overlap. That overlap's really good. So I want a bead of glue along where that overlaps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to add to this edge a little bit of glue like that, and I'm going to bring it on here and I'm going to attach it just like that. Now I can also, after I do that, I can also take another toothpick and just put a little bit of glue on that edge, just so I get a really nice bond. And what you'll find is as you're doing this, the glue will actually get soaked into the wood a little bit, and if it in the next couple of minutes goes clear, you can add a little bit more and that'll get an even stronger bond. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and I'm going to fill in this entire shape with the toothpicks. And you can see through there I laid it out just like my pattern. And when you peel this off, it's going to look something like this. This is my finished side, all glued together. And it can flex a little bit in this direction, but vertically it's very strong. It's going to be very important that you're building this very efficiently and getting this finished quickly. You're going to need to build some of it at home. And when you're building at home, you're going to want to consider what's going to travel easily. I could put a couple of these flat pieces together and I could travel with those. But if I had my whole box together, that's going to be a little bit harder to travel with. So what you're going to want to do is you're probably going to want to do all your flats together and get them all finished. And then as you have that all put together, then start building the final 3D shape. Okay, so I have a couple of pieces that I would like to connect to each other. So what I want to do is I'm going to use this wax paper as sort of like masking tape to create a hinge to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put a little bit of glue along this edge. Okay, and along this edge. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn them over and I'm going to set them next to each other, but not touching each other, with a little bit of gap in there. And I'm going to let those dry. Okay, so this has dried. The wax paper is now stuck to my design. And so what I want to do is I want to fold this up so that it makes this V shape in the middle. So what I'm going to do is I want to cut off any extra wax paper around my design. I'm going to get rid of some of this excess wax paper. And so now I just have this one little hinge. And the idea is I will want to pull this off later, but for now it looks good. So what I want to do is I want to set this up at a 90-degree angle where the toothpicks are actually touching each other. I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to run a bead of glue through there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take toothpick and I'm going to place it in the corner just like this. And what will happen is this toothpick will add strength to that corner. Okay, so we have our glued up walls. I already pulled off the wax paper off the corner, and what we have left is two walls at a 90-degree angle from each other. What I did was I used a triangle that has a 90-degree corner, and I set that in the corner just like that. Now, if you don't have a triangle, there's lots of things that you can use, including I could have used this box of toothpicks. All right, good luck building your toothpick structures.